You will be able to demonstrate and apply the laws of conservation of energy and conservation of momentum in one dimension. In this unit, we'll talk about elastic and inelastic collisions. You'll be able to identify different types of collisions, determine the changes in kinetic energy during perfectly inelastic collisions. You will compare conservation of momentum and conservation of kinetic energy in perfectly inelastic and elastic collisions, and you will find the final velocity of an object in perfectly inelastic and elastic collisions. An elastic collision is a collision in which the total momentum and the total kinetic energy are conserved in what's called an elastic collision. There's no lasting deformation that occurs, so the object doesn't get crushed when it hits the other object, and no heat is generated. So think about two bowling balls hitting each other or pool balls hitting each other. Momentum and kinetic energy are going to be conserved in an elastic collision. A 0.015 kilogram marble moving to the right at 0.225 meters per second makes an elastic head-on collision with a 0.030 kilogram shooter marble moving to the left at 0.18 meters per second. After the collision, the smaller marble moves to the left at 0.315 meters per second. Assume that neither marble rotates before or after the collision and that both marbles are moving on a frictionless surface. What is the velocity of the 0.03 kilogram marble after the collision? So the first thing to do in these types of problems is define what you are given. First mass is 0.015 kilograms, that's the shooter marble, and the second marble has a mass of 0.03 kilograms. The first marble moves to the right at 0.225 meters per second. The second marble moves to the left at minus 0.18 meters per second. The first marble after the collision is going to be moving to the left at minus 0.315 meters per second. So drawing the picture, here's the first marble, here's the second marble. The first marble has a mass of 0.15 kilograms, moving to the right. The second marble has a mass of 0.03 kilograms, and it's moving to the left. After the collision, the 0.015 kilogram marble is going to be moving in the opposite direction. So it hits here, here's the collision, and we are going to find out what happens to this bigger marble after the collision. Here we have our givens again. And remember, we have two marbles. They're moving in opposite directions. We are going to find out what happens to the second marble after the collision. We already know that marble 1 here is moving in the opposite direction. So from the wording of the problem, here's our first line of math. 0.015 times 0.225 plus 0.3 times minus 0.18. This is happening before the collision. Equal the first marble, 0.015 times minus 0.315 plus 0.03 times this final velocity. At this point, the second line is some simplification of the math. Multiply, write it down, multiply, write it down, multiply, write it down. And then this is our unknown term. We're writing it down as is. Line 3, we're simplifying the math by adding the two numbers together, 0.003375 minus 0.0054. Line 4, We're again doing a rearrangement of the math. Line 5, we're simplifying one more time. And in this final step, you're dividing both sides by 0.03. 0.03. And the final velocity of marble 2 is 0.09 meters per second. So what that means is, if I think about at the top here, marble 1, marble 2, instead of continuing in the same direction that it was going, it is going to be moving backward because the sign of this velocity is positive 0.09 meters per second. So in this elastic collision, no kinetic energy is lost, no momentum is lost. The marbles bounce off each other, and they each are going to go in the opposite directions. A perfectly inelastic collision happens when the colliding objects stick together after they collide. Think about two pieces of clay that strike each other and then would be stuck together as they move off. Think about a car accident where the two cars hit head on and then they stick together after the collision and then move off as one unit. So any collision that happens where the two objects become one object after they collide would be considered a perfectly inelastic collision. Kinetic energy is conserved, and the objects might become distorted, or they might generate heat as a result of the collision. In section 3, we're going to talk about elastic and inelastic collisions. A perfectly inelastic collision is a collision in which two objects stick together after colliding and they move together as one mass. No kinetic energy is lost. In conservation of momentum for a perfectly inelastic collision, we're going to use this equation. So m1 v1 initial plus m2 v2 initial equal mass 1 plus m2 times the final velocity, because the two objects are traveling independently to begin with. The collision happens, and then they're stuck together, and now they're moving away as one unit. We sometimes use the word entangled to talk about these kind of collisions. So if the collision were elastic, that would mean the objects would not stick together after they collide. If the two objects, as you see in this image, were two train cars, so train car 1 and train car 2 are traveling independently, car 1 and car 2 come together in a collision, and they have a little device that will connect them together as they hit each other. So it's designed so that they will become attached whenever they hit each other. If a car with a mass of 1,500 kilograms moving at 20 meters per second strikes a bicycle with a mass of 40 kilograms and it is at rest, what is their velocity after the collision if they become entangled? So the mass of the car, 1,500, times its velocity, 20, plus the mass of the bike, 40, times its velocity, which is 0. That's going to equal the combined mass of the bike and the car, so 1,500 plus 40, times the velocity that they will have at the end. So a little simplification here, 30,000 plus 0 equal 1,540 times v of f, and the math becomes 30,000 divided by 1,540 will give me the final velocity. And the final velocity in this problem is 19.5 meters per second for both of the objects after they're stuck together and move away as one unit. Two clay balls collide head-on in a perfectly inelastic collision, so they're going to stick together after they collide. The first ball has a mass of 0.5 kilograms and an initial velocity of 4 meters per second to the right. The second ball has a mass of 0.25 kilograms and an initial velocity of 3 meters per second to the left. What is the final velocity and change in kinetic energy if they connect and travel off together after the collision? So here's the variables. Mass 1 is 0.5 kilograms. Mass 2 is 0.25 kilograms. V1 initial is 4 meters per second to the right, which is going to be plus 4. Velocity of 2 initial is 3 meters per second to the left, so V2 initial is minus 3 meters per second. The final velocity of the two objects stuck together at the end is going to be found with this equation. M1 V1 initial plus M2 V2 initial equal M1 plus M2, because they are combined after they collide, times the final velocity. In this line here, we're entering all the unknowns. So 0.5 times 4 plus 0.25 times minus 3 equal, so the collision happens here, 0.25 plus 0.25 will be the combined mass times the final velocity. So I've simplified just a bit. So 2 minus 0.75 equal 0.75 times VF. That rearranges to 1.25 divided by 0.75 equal VF. And the math, when you get done, VF equal 1.67 meters per second. What is the change in kinetic energy if they connect and travel off together after the collision? So the change in kinetic energy will equal kinetic energy of ball 1 initially minus the kinetic energy of ball 2 initially, because one is going to the right and one is going to the left. And so they're going to need to be subtracted. This difference in the kinetic energy will give us the final kinetic energy of the system. So we're going to do change in kinetic energy equal 1/2 mv squared initial for ball 1 minus 1/2 mv initial squared for ball 2. Change in kinetic energy is equal 1/2 times 0.5 times 4 squared minus 1/2 times 0.25 times minus 3 squared. So this difference in kinetic energy, when we do the math, we're going to end up with 4 minus 1.125, and that's going to give us the final kinetic energy of the balls after they collide. Because one is moving to the right and one is moving to the left, we're going to subtract them, and this 2.875 joules is the kinetic energy before the collision and after the collision.